Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No?
I have a question.
No? Anybody? Okay.
Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers.
The political stage has never lacked drama, but every now and then, someone steps up and flips the script. This time, it wasn't a politician, a pundit, or a cable news anchor. It was none other than the legendary pop icon Cher. Known for her flamboyant style, fierce independence, and razor-sharp wit, Cher has never been one to back down from a fight, especially when it involves the future of democracy. When she recently unleashed a verbal takedown of Donald Trump,
increasing, and I want to know what you think about that.
Well, you know, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I can tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history.
the impact reverberated across the political sphere like a supernova of sass and substance. But what made this moment explode across headlines wasn't just Cher's pointed critique. It was the unhinged, full-throttle response from Trump's loyal press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, whose panicked efforts to spin damage control were as transparent as cellophane and twice as flimsy. The result? A public political clash that felt more like a dramatic HBO finale.
Always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody.
Than a weekend news cycle. Cher's statements weren't merely opinionated celebrity ramblings. They were a fierce, heartfelt warning. Speaking with conviction and urgency, she cautioned America about what another Trump presidency could mean for civil liberties and marginalized communities. Her concern wasn't for herself, she emphasized. She's lived through decades of cultural change and political upheaval, but for the younger generations who would bear the brunt of regressive policies. According to Cher, if Trump were to return to power, the ripple effects could undo decades of progress. From women's reproductive rights.
And I would also say that before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump.
To LGBTQ plus protections like gay marriage and adoption, she painted a chilling picture of what could lie ahead. "It's not going to hurt me," she said, "but it's going to do stuff to young people, and that really scares me." What made her message hit harder than your average political commentary was the sheer weight of experience behind it. Cher isn't a newcomer to public advocacy. She's endured culture wars, political scandals, and societal shifts across generations. Her voice carries both history and authority, and when she speaks, people listen. Enter Karoline Leavitt, Trump's ever-loyal press secretary, whose job these days seems less about informing the public.
And if you look at the methodology, you're right. They're over-polling Democrats, under-polling Republicans.
Karoline Leavitt confirming that Donald Trump is considering suing Fox, investigating Fox, his own propaganda outlet. Is this how bad it's gotten?
And more about acting as Trump's personal spin doctor. The moment Cher's comments hit the airwaves, Levitt sprang into action, if you can call it that. Her response wasn't strategic or composed. It was a full-blown media tantrum. Running to the usual conservative media outlets, Levitt painted Cher as an out-of-touch elite, launching a hate-filled attack on the American people.
We don't really blink when we see them, to be honest with you. We're staying focused on the mission and moving forward. The president knows everything he's doing is exactly what he promised the American public he would do. And if you look at the key issues in the polling, the president is still ahead because Americans know he is delivering on them, on those issues.
But that narrative fell apart instantly. This wasn't some Hollywood star mouthing off for clicks. It was a respected public figure expressing genuine concern about the erosion of American values and institutions. Instead of countering Cher's points with logic or policy, Leavitt did what Trump's team does best: dodge, deflect, and dramatize. Theatrics over truth, emotion over evidence. She doubled down, attacking Cher's character while ignoring the substance of what was actually said. Leavitt's reaction was a textbook example of political deflection. Faced with criticism, she didn't attempt to debate the actual issues, like the threats to democratic norms, civil rights, or institutional stability. Instead, she clutched her rhetorical pearls and launched into a diatribe about celebrity elites and liberal media bias. But here's the catch. Leavitt's defense fell apart under the weight of its own hypocrisy. She's defending a man who lives in a gold tower, surrounds himself with celebrities, and has been accused of using his platform for personal gain time and time again.
Have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have. They don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here.
The irony? Her attempts to accuse others of elitism while serving one of the most historically self-serving political figures in modern history. It's almost laughable that she tried to make Trump, the same man who held a press conference next to a Sharpie-altered hurricane map and once recommended injecting disinfectant, a sympathetic victim. What set Cher's critique apart from the usual celebrity jabs was its emotional clarity. She didn't speak from a place of partisanship or personal vendetta. Instead, she voiced what millions across the country are thinking, but might be afraid to say out loud, that Trump's return to office could have devastating consequences. And she said it with unmistakable intensity. If someone said that my daughter was a hot piece of ass, I would put my fist through his face, she said, in reference to Trump's infamous remarks about his own daughter. That kind of raw, unfiltered honesty is rare in politics, and even rarer from public figures with Cher's level of fame.
Wow, that was a good idea. Why didn't I think of it?
What has been your favorite thing that the president has accomplished so far?
He made the prices of the gas cheap.
Mass deportation.
The tariffs because things get worse before they get better.
But it's exactly what made her words resonate so powerfully. Cher wasn't trying to be shocking. She was being real. Levitt, on the other hand, responded with all the composure of a soda can shaken for 30 minutes and then opened live on air. From Newsmax to Fox, she launched a whirlwind media tour, decrying Cher's statements as un-American, all while glossing over Trump's well-documented offenses, both personal and political. She claimed Trump had restored dignity to the White House.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that.
Well, you know, I have to admit that I appreciate your directness. And I will try and be as direct and honest with you as I possibly can be. I am positive that you are the most unattractive man I have ever met in my entire...
A line so absurd it practically wrote its own punchline. Dignity. The same White House that saw unprecedented staff turnover, Twitter tirades, and 2 impeachments. The same presidency that suggested we nuke hurricanes and obsessively complained about toilets not flushing. It's no wonder the internet quickly labeled Levitt's defense as not only hollow, but borderline comical. Her impassioned performance may have earned her airtime, but it did little to shield Trump from the searing sting of Cher's truth bombs. Despite what critics say, Cher isn't just another celebrity with a platform, she's a cultural force. She's outlasted politicians, survived public scrutiny, and never once backed down from speaking her truth. Whether it's tackling injustice, calling out hypocrisy, or standing up for those without a voice.
The fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede.
She's never been afraid to ruffle feathers. And in this political showdown, she did more than ruffle feathers. She plucked the whole bird. Trump may have his devoted base, but he's also built a legacy that's nearly impossible to defend on principle. When someone like Cher calls him out, it hits differently, because she's not a career politician. She doesn't need votes, campaign dollars, or talking points. She just tells it like it is, and people feel that. The clash between Cher and Karoline Leavitt is more than just an amusing moment in pop culture politics.
Find another job whose interests you align with. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I think Governor Walz, unfortunately, is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat on November 5th. I'm shocked that he is speaking at nighttime. I thought his bedtime was much earlier.
It represents something deeper, a growing frustration among Americans, especially women, young people, and marginalized communities who are tired of political doublespeak and tired of watching democracy bend under the weight of lies and fear-mongering. Cher said what needed to be said. And Levitt? Well, she did what she always does, deflect and distract, hoping no one looks too closely at the facts. But the facts are clear. Trump's record is public. His actions are documented, and his enablers, no matter how loud they shout, can't erase what millions have seen with their own eyes. This isn't about left or right. It's about right and wrong.
I think it is, and I don't think it's helpful. I think you and I have talked about it before. I mean, Trump is a very unique character, and he has gotten this fan base, essentially, of people who really like him.
And in this round, Cher didn't just win. She dominated. Boom. Cher just dropped the mic, and Karoline Leavitt got caught red-handed. What do you think? Was that the final blow, or just the beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a moment of the drama. See you in the next one.